Thank you so much for joining us on our Wise Women Forward podcast. Today, I'm joined by two strong forces shaping culture through media, storytelling, and advocacy. So let me read their introduction because there's a lot of meat there. LaKisa Renee is a dynamic media professional, journalist, host, and entrepreneur. As the founder of LaKisa Renee Entertainment and wellness brands Le Du Jour and Soulgevity, she works at the intersection of media, fashion, beauty, and holistic living. She's covered major global events from Sundance and Tribeca to the Oscars to New York Fashion Week, and has interviewed icons like Rihanna, Alicia Keys, Robert De Niro, and Ryan Coogler. Through it all, she's built a platform focused on elevating culture and amplifying meaningful stories. Tammy Reese is an award-winning multimedia journalist, content creator, and mental health advocate. As the founder of Visionary Minds, PR and Media, she's dedicated to elevating diverse voices through intentional storytelling and strategic media presence. She's interviewed also some icons, such as Angela Bassett, Gina Davis, Cheryl Lee Ralph, and Lawrence Fishburne. And her work spans major festivals and networks. She also serves on the Communications Committee for New York Women in Film and Television and continues to merge storytelling with social impact. They also do a phenomenal podcast called
Tales from the Media.
There you go. And they're not just covering culture, they're helping shape the narratives that define it. So that's why we have them here today. And I love what you guys do. So you've watched our film and you know that our film reframes the story that we've been told about menopause and how important or not important postmenopausal women are. From everything that you've seen in media and the amazing women that you've been able to talk to, interview, etc., what story do you think women are told about aging?
That it's bad. Mm-hmm. What is the opposite thing from not aging? What happens? You're no longer here on earth, right? So it's not a bad thing. It's a wise thing. It's wisdom. To age is wisdom. But yeah, that's a unfortunate part of, especially the entertainment industry. A lot of women of a particular age do not get, main roles or the roles they want because they are aging. Even in media, this happens a lot as well.
Yep. And they feel the need to get surgery to look younger or lie about their ages, to stay relevant. And it's not fair because guys can get old and bald and, all those things. So why can't women just age gracefully and get the same opportunities?
Yeah. And it's ridiculous because, okay, I guess on an actor's level, you have to have the roles of, certain age women to play them. But in media, I mean, come on, why wouldn't I want to watch a woman my age talking to me about what's going on in the world?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Like Tammy said, wisdom.
Right, yeah. Exactly. They would bring a different perspective to it, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So in your lives up until now, have you ever heard of menopause framed as a source of leadership, a transition into leadership? And so have you? No.
From my perspective, I always looked at it, or not me personally, but heard as it something to be looked down upon when this is a natural part of life. It's a blessing to experience and it's nothing to be frowned upon. Even if there's stigmas behind it, it takes education, learning. What does women go through experiencing something like this?
Yeah, even with me working in maternal and infant health in my past, it was never framed as anything leading. It was framed as something to fear, hot flashes and feeling a certain kind of way and, all these things that make you scared of it. So I never thought of it as anything powerful at all.
Right, from biological to emotional, all of the things, something to fear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and when you were working in the reproductive part of a woman's life, yeah, were those moms and moms to be looking forward and going, okay, I've got a limited amount of time, and then
Well, I would say yes, as in pregnancy, because my focus was a lot, on pregnant women and parenting moms. So they felt they had to rush and have kids. They didn't have the time. Their clocks were ticking, and sooner or later, I wouldn't be able to have it. So it was always that rushing factor to feel like they had to have kids like now, instead of taking your time and having them at an older age.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and also trying to fit everything in, because if you're kind of losing your importance and you losing your relevance after menopause, not only do I have to have the kids now when I'm fertile, but then I've got to have my career and I've got to make everything happen because there isn't the time. Did you ever feel that with the women that you were working with?
Yes, all the time.
Mm.
And it's hard watching them because a part of my job too was kind of being like a life coach to them and helping them get jobs and education and all these different things. And they felt so stressed, like I got to do this, I got to do that. I don't have help doing this, I don't have help doing that. I have to. And it was my job to calm them down, guide them step by step, and say you do have time, you do have the help, you have me to help get you through that.
Yeah, and like we never have a time to just settle in
Mm-hmm.
and just be with our child because all the other things. And our
Mm-hmm.
mind is usually racing anyway, but
Right.
it doesn't help when the culture from outside is also telling us you're running out of time, running out of time.
I love that you brought that up, LaKisa. My mother-in-law, she had her last child in her late 40s. And I thought that was beautiful. And I feel more conversation need to be had about that. Like I had my child when I was 23. But I love that she had a child later in life. She was perfectly fine, perfectly healthy. And balanced her career with her daughter that she had. So it's definitely possible. There's great stories of people having children later in life.
Mm-hmm. And I heard too recently that more women in their 40s are having kids than women in their 20s. So it was like this boom of older mothers and they're embracing it and loving it. And they're also
Yes,
saying too that our eggs still work just fine.
yes,
Guys, sperm that actually, have the issues with producing the kids. So it's like, it's not us guys, it's you.
right.
Exactly, exactly. And yeah, all those women are listening to their inner voices, and letting them know that, yes, it's fine. It's perfectly fine to wait and do what I need to first and then have a child. And it's working.
Yes.
So you both are in a different generation than I am. What do you think about your future? So if you think 10, 20 years from now, what do you think that phase, what do you want it to feel like? And does the idea of menopause, is it a great and important transition for you, or how do you see that path?
I love this question. Um, I see a future, not just for myself, but for all women that is balanced with leadership with women and men. Um, and just I would love to see like a woman leader of our country. I just want to say that I would hope to see that, during this human experience. And I think with that, more conversations like this will be had on, national levels within government because it all trickles down from the top. I feel like men has been running this world, the country for so long. And if women were, at prominent positions, we'll feel seen more, we'll feel heard more. Issues that, include us would be, on these chamber floors with these policymakers and things of that nature. So that's the future I see. More women running things.
Mm-hmm. And I have to agree with Tammy, especially after watching the film and seeing how, the grandmothers and women back then were, the leaders. So it kind of switched over the years, but I would love for it to go back to when women led and were the powerful ones and making decisions. And also for us to just embrace that time when it comes and not be afraid of it. I'm looking forward, to not having periods and cramps and all that stuff.
Yes.
I take the hot flashes, but I don't want that. So I'm actually looking forward to, that stage and how it feels.
And also, Dominique, I just want to commend you for your work because we need more women. I know there are women out there, but just more women like you who are doing documentaries and films that are meaningful, that are, educational, inspirational, that are, we're seeing people like us, topics that matter to us. Your work is so important and definitely keep doing what you're doing. I just had to give you your flowers and thank you for everything that you're doing.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's great what you're saying, because when you bring women's voices into the leadership rooms, it's just going to change it because it's just a different perspective, right? And women tend to have much more of the perspective of the community. What does the community need? And what do we need to bring it into the future? Instead of thinking of, well, it's just a different way of thinking. And that's what matriarchy really means. It's a system that works community first instead of let's make the rules and then, bring them down to everyone. No, it's community first. And from there, you decide what we're going to do. And I want to give you guys your props. I don't know how you voted in the last election, but since I know that over 90% of African American women voted for Kamala, I'm just assuming, and
we're in that 92%.
For you guys. Yeah, exactly. Thank God for you guys. And you guys need to talk to all of my sisters, because we were, I don't know, it was like 50% that didn't, and I can't even imagine. But okay.
Let's with that, just to quickly talk about that. I feel like a lot of women fell for the lies during that campaign. It was a lot of lies told, and people thought he was going to come in and do certain things and change this and that, and he did the exact opposite. So I kind of feel bad for the people that voted for him that got tricked. He got duped. And I should have just gave a woman a chance, regardless of where she's from, if she's Black or Indian, whatever. We need that. Look at the Queen of England. She ruled for centuries, pretty much decades, I should say. And with no problem. So why can't we try that here?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's hope for that.
Yeah.
So we started Wise Women Forward because we really believe that instead of trying to pull back into things, positive change happens when you move forward, right? You can learn from what has happened in the past, but you move forward. So as members of a younger generation, what conversations do you think women need to start having? And what change do you see that needs to start happening now?
I definitely think one of the, to build on what you said about community, I would, expand on that and say collaborations. Like LaKisa and I, we have our own brands and entities, but we also collaborate as well. I don't want it to seem like this is us against them, but more than ever, women really need each other. People are telling us how to think. Our policies are, being took away. Our rights are starting to be took away, things of that nature. We have to really stick together, uplift each other, support each other, all of the things, more than ever. And I think these conversations need to be had. It's okay to, want to be independent and do things on your own and, feel like I did this on my own. And that's something to be proud of. But more than ever, we really, really need each other.
Yeah. I second that wholeheartedly, and we got to be vocal about what we feel. Like you said, all of our rights are being taken away. Our bodies are, our freedom of everything, pretty much are being taken away. And we're just letting it happen. It's like, where's that fight we used to have back in the 60s and 70s, and it's just not there. And our community, the economy, everything is just crumbling before our eyes, and we really, really need to come together more now than ever.
Yep. So women need to speak up. Yeah. So you guys definitely speak up by having, not only are you interviewers, but you also do a podcast. What's the name of the podcast, and what what ideas do you bring into the podcast?
Thank you for asking. The Tales from the Media podcast started originally because we are huge horror fans. We have a huge horror fan base within the horror community. And John Kassir was the voice of HBO's Tales from the Crypt Keeper. He voiced our intro. And even though we're horror fans, we didn't want it to just be a horror podcast. We talk about current events. We talk about how we're feeling, about what's going on in the world, things of that nature, just what's on our mind. Being that we're media professionals, these are our tales that we're telling to our audience.
Yeah, mental health too as well, because we're both mental health advocates. So it's a little bit of everything. Like when we say media is across all genres of things. So whatever you want to talk about or whatever we want to talk about, it's all ears, just open for discussion. So
that's amazing. So you also do a mental health podcast, Tammy? Do you still do that?
Yes, it's called the Bliss section. I want everyone to be able to create their own bliss box, circle, whatever that looks like for you, to let you know that you define your own success, you define your own happiness, whatever peace, joy looks like to you. It was titled from my married last name is Chan Bliss, the Bliss section. Yes, I am about almost 4 episodes in, and I'm also a student of psychology, and I share information that I'm learning in school, especially with positive psychology. It's so meaningful to me. But sharing that knowledge as a mental health advocate, especially in the media industry, it's full of, reputation and perception and, sometimes illusion and glamour. I want people to know that you're human. It's okay to not be okay sometimes. And I'm providing tools for coping skills within my limits as not quite a licensed therapist yet. So I'm advocating through lived experience.
That's awesome. That's really great. So having you guys on the podcast today makes me realize or confirms to me that the story in our film is a story of all women's lives. It's not about midlife and beyond. It seems to touch all women. So thank you so much for being here and voicing that. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us, Dominique. We adore you.
Oh, thanks.
And see what I wanted to piggyback on Tammy with the mental health is when she decided to do that, I was like her number one biggest supporter.
Yes.
We also have a dream to collaborate on that end as well with my wellness retreats that I started last year, the Soulgevity retreats. And that's getting everybody together to heal, let go of trauma. I teach people how to heal themselves naturally in holistic ways with Qigong therapy, meditation, breathing techniques, different movement. So Tammy did attend one of my and it was amazing.
Life-changing.
So many different people, men and women as well, to come and share that experience together and learn something new and how to experience life in a different way and to heal themselves and to connect with nature and just be, at peace and at one with each other. So we really want to do something together where I do my holistic things and she do the mental health for the mind and take that worldwide.
Absolutely. We're speaking in existence and it will be.
Yes.
Yes. I wish that for you guys because we need it.
Yes.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. So for our listeners, we're going to have all the links for both the podcasts and this amazing retreat and all the ways that you can find Tammy and LaKisa and follow them. And please do.
Thank you again, Dominique. It was an honor to be on the show.
Yes, thanks, it was an honor. And once again, welcome to our Nightwave family. And we're so happy to have you as a sister.
Thank you. Yay.